Scanning. Identity authorized. Welcome to the Secret Superhero Club Podcast Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 181 of the Animation Station Podcast. My name is Josh, and joining me once again from the Toons Podcast, Mr. Harold Story. What's up, Harold?
Hello, what's going on, my guy?
Oh, nothing much. Little of this, little of that. The wonderful Santa Ana winds has, destroyed my sinuses, so...
Thoughts and prayers.
It's been great. But this week, it is our last episode of Spootober, which, because of moving and everything, we weren't able to do a really good Spootober lineup this year, but we do have a little bit of something. The awesome people over at TriCoast were actually able to set us up with a screener for the new Japanese horror animation, Violence Voyager.
Violence Voyager.
Not to be confused with Star Trek Voyager. It's completely different things.
Exactly. I thought I got them mixed up, yeah, so it's a good thing you said that.
Yeah, I can see
I'm
that.
always getting those mixed up, yeah.
But it is, it's actually a Japanese animation. It's actually called Gekimation.
Yeah, Gekimation. That's bizarre, for sure.
I hope I am saying that correctly. But it is a style in which paper cutouts are filmed in real time, moving through a scene in order to create the illusion of movement. So, kind of like where you would have something where, because how you have, stop motion and everything like that, or like whatever Moral Oral was, that weird claymation thing.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's all paper cutouts.
Yeah, it's almost like classic South Park or something.
Yeah, kind of like classic South Park. Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that. But what they do really well with this is they take the paper craft and then they use it and add real world, lots of liquids and everything to it, like liquids and fire and everything like that. Which,
yeah, it's super grotesque at some parts. It's oh man, it's almost like body horror type stuff.
Yeah. But it is from the creator is Ujicha, and again, I apologize if I'm getting names incorrect. Apologize.
We're filthy casuals. Give us a break.
Yes, exactly. As we said, as you won't hear because it had to be cut, because Josh was just on all the meds. We decided that both Harold and I are indeed white. It kind of got white from Oklahoma, so pronunciation of things is hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so it's Ujicha is the creator, and it is definitely it's very obscure and it is a very off the wall animation style.
Yeah, I think there's one other movie, right?
I had never heard of this type of animation at all.
Yeah, I think there's one other movie that uses this style. It might be from the same guy. He might have just invented his own style. Hey, I want to do this and make this my thing.
Very possible, very possible. But we do have a really good cast. So basically, the main plot of this story is our boy Bobby. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed American baby boy, Bobby, is living in Japan, and he and his friend Akun go off, and they're going to meet one of their friends who lives in another village on the other side of this mountain. And while they're on their way there, they meet, what is it? It's Old Man Monkey.
Yeah.
Old Man Monkey Sensei or
the man, it was scary. I was is this a monster or what? Some of the characters are just really grotesque. There's just really interesting designs for the characters and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And his cat, he's got a very faithful cat companion who loved the cat. So who tells them, be careful, don't go on the mountain, go the long way around, don't cross through the mountain. And obviously,
little foreshadowing.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah.
They cut through the mountain, and find this amusement park run by this crazy person. And it's called Violence Voyager. And at first you think, okay, this is just a kind of cutesy little amusement park thing where like they have to wear these ponchos and they have water guns and they spray these little cardboard things. And there you go. Like, that's basically it. But then when they try to leave, because they find a girl who had went there with her boyfriend, and now boyfriend is gone. We don't know what happened to the boyfriend. Something weird happened. They try to leave, and it turns out, oh no, it's all a ploy. They're now being attacked by an actual monster up on this hill. We can kind of talk a little bit about the cast. We have, as Bobby, we've got Cedric Williams, and voicing Coon. This one threw me for a little bit, because I was thinking, I was like, this voice is very, very familiar. And it's Debbie Derryberry, who voiced Jimmy Neutron.
The boy genius himself.
That, threw me so hard. I was like, wait a minute.
I know, that was had me shook. I was like, what on earth? I guess, I mean, of course, as they could probably surmise from listening to this, we watched the dub of this movie.
Always dubs. Dubs before subs, because I'm basic. So was watching this, and she comes on, and I'm just like, oh, I know that voice. Because it kind of got me in that thinking, because it took me a little bit. Then it was like Jimmy Neutron, because I had met Rob Paulson at the Salem series Kickstarter event, who plays Carl in Jimmy Neutron and Wacko and all the crazy every Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. So
a bunch of iconic WB characters.
Oh yeah, definitely. So his voice was still stuck in my head, as it will be forever now. That one got me, and I was like, oh, okay, I got you. So that's kind of what happens. Then we're not gonna spoil a whole lot of it for you, just because we do want you to go and watch the show, which thankfully now you can actually go on and you can actually see this movie for yourself. It is available on Amazon, DirecTV, FlixFling, Vimeo On Demand, Vudu, Fandango, and on AT&T. So it's available on a lot of your streaming services. You can actually go and watch this right now. So again, we're not going to spoil it. I'm going to give you, that is the basic, kind of premise for the show. It gets really weird from there.
It does indeed.
What did you say? What did you say, Harold? Do you think it gets a little bit weird?
It gets a little odd. I watched a couple scenes when I was at work, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this real quick."
Yeah, don't put that on the. I know you were probably watching it on the big screens.
Could you?
I had it thrown up on the wall.
Can you imagine full wall projector just pulling this up? That'd be insane. That would be so funny.
Oh, man. So it definitely gets a little weird. There are definitely some funny parts. I will say I liked in this animation just the way that some of the cutouts were. And again, we watched the dub, and it looked like there were some parts where, maybe it was meant to be a little bit more serious in the Japanese, but in the English dub, it made it a little comical.
Yeah.
A lot of bits where there was one that really got me, where somebody says something serious and then it's just this shot of Bobby and he's like, "Ooh,"
their face is just
his face, and he doesn't say a word. It's someone's explaining oh yes, and this little boy died, and he's just like, "Ooh." Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of really good it's funny. Where I don't think it means to be funny, unless that's what he was going for, and if that's what he was going for, then kudos, did well.
No, yeah, it was that exact, you nailed it. It was just I laughed in parts where I was oh, probably was not supposed to laugh there. But I did mention to you earlier that it's definitely a niche thing, but it was a very, I don't know, it's compelling and has a an interesting story at least, and it was I kept watching just to see like what kind of other techniques he would do, because like we mentioned earlier, it would be like and like you're saying, I don't want to like ruin anything, but for example, they would have like the characters would have a like super soaker, and he would actually like somehow, I guess, like cut into the actual cutouts and like make it to where water was actually coming out of like the end of the super soaker. So I was like, man, this is so interesting, because the whole medium is paper.
Yeah.
So you're like, huh? And I was just like, I don't know. You probably think that it's like his intention to kind of juxtapose like those two things, because they're so, contrarian. It's like water and paper. You won't think that the two mediums will really go together, but it's like at every turn, it's like something that it interacts with something that it's not typically supposed to interact with. Like we mentioned fire earlier too. So it's just like, oh, this is, this is compelling, and like the way that they pulled off some of these shots was just like funny to me. I had mentioned
there's like you said earlier, that there's some tumbling sequences where like people are like
exactly
down hills or whatever like that, and it's like I still don't know how they did that. Like, how did you like put it on like something and like spin it? Like,
yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Like he did like a pinwheel or something.
Yeah, like a pinwheel. Is that what you did? Because like the way that some of this stuff is shot, it's really, really. It's different, and it's definitely one of those like I would like to watch like a full behind the scenes of how you did this.
Yeah, they did the little the preview that accompanied the movie. It was pretty funny too. Just it shows like a little behind the scenes of him painting like one of the characters, and you see him kind of like first interacting with the actual like environment with the characters and whatnot. But yeah, it's like
he just starts like nose bleeding on it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you could tell the guy's definitely got like this different, like off-kilter sense of humor, which is definitely displayed in this movie. It's just like, it's just offbeat,
Yeah, and it's definitely not something like, I don't know, like, have you seen anything like that in like America or anything like that?
No,
I've not seen anything along that type of.
Not like that. I mean, it's just like super
I guess,
unique.
I guess kind of like what you said with South Park.
Yeah, like the original, like Think Christmas special that was like the precursor to even the show that they did, where there was like literally construction paper. Yeah, like, but even that's more of like stop motion. This is like real time, like actual real time him like interacting, and there's like, there's some traditional film techniques used where he like does things like rack focus and stuff like that. I mean, it's like basic stuff, but it's like, okay, I wouldn't expect to really see something like that in a movie like this. And so it was just like, busting out some of the actual camera tricks and like to go along with like practical effect type of stuff.
Yeah, and then like I never really seen anything like where they mix like that, that paper craft in with like physical. It did kind of remind me, like, I don't know about you, but when I was in 5th grade, I was super into the WWF because it was the F at the time before they got the F out. I remember that when they were first rebranding to the WWE, and they had to get the F out because of the World Wildlife Foundation. And they were just like, get the F out, and you're like, that's a good one, good slogan, Vince. That's what I would do. I would make little. I would get toothpicks and I would cut little like stick figure-esque people out, and I would use them to like fight because I had a very active imagination as a child. So like I would do stuff like that, and I would play with those, like make chairs and make my favorite wrestlers and titles and everything like that. So that's kind of what it reminded me of, and I'm kind of like, you know what, man, I should have. If I had the know it back then, I would have like filmed those. They'd be like, I could have been Gekivation.
Yeah, it's Canimation.
Canimation. Oh, see, Canimation sounds awesome. Because it's Canimation. Like you can animation.
Oh my god. Okay, there's so much depth to it now. You've got to do it, bro.
There you go. Now we got to. I just have to become good. But yeah, so, I definitely think this is definitely a watch show. Movie. It's definitely a watch. You got to watch it at least once. Because the tricks and stuff that he uses in this film are really, really unique. I think the voice acting is good. It's a lot of Kun. There were a couple bits where like people are like talking over each other, and I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be like.
I know
that.
you're like, is that intentional? Like, did they leave that? I don't know, but I mean, obviously they wouldn't have like left it in on accident. You'd think. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, who knows? But I mean, I thought it added to the charm of it.
Totally.
The facial. I can't talk. The facial features of everybody it's funny when it is, and then sometimes it is very. He does a really good job of making the people like making all of the characters like they all have like different facial expressions. Like I would like to know how many like of these drawings and figures that he actually created, because there are a lot of scenes where like someone will have just like a like face and then like it'll be gone. It'll be like they're one scene on the next. So like, I
exactly.
would like to see exactly how many of these that he has, and because there's got to be a lot. I mean, especially the ones that got burned or spit on or anything like that. You have to have like quite a few of those.
No, yeah, for sure. He's probably had like just like in every pose you could imagine, like every expression you can imagine, probably.
Oh yeah. So Ujicha, if you're not doing anything and you want to send us, a couple of those drawings, we'd love that. Put those on the wall.
Well, like the character designs are funny too, with like the real grotesque ones with like it looks like they have like abs on their forehead or something.
I did get to like Akun and his brother. He's got like abs on their foreheads. And
I was like, what? I don't know if that's what that is. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like, right? And so I was just like, what is going on with this like design? But it's just like quirky. Character. Yeah. It's like super quirky and like, I don't know, just like a lot of personality and a lot of the characters and the designs and stuff.
There's that girl that has her, like whose friend has his tongue sticking out the whole time. Yeah. It's just like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, you're like, why though?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those you're like, what is going on? Like some of these, but I mean, like, it's also like the story is actually pretty compelling.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say it keeps you interested.
Yeah, like there wasn't a time where I was just like, yo, I know how this is gonna go. Like I thought I knew for a bit, and then something in like the third act happens as we lead up into that final act that I was not expecting any of that.
Right.
I was just
subverted your expectations.
Exactly. Like, there's the part when, something happens and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is the end of the series. Like, this is the end of the movies. And it was just the end of the third act. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. You got me there.
I was like, y'all had me going for a second.
Man, yeah. So like, it was definitely one where I was like, oh man, like it definitely kept me guessing, and they do leave it open for a sequel.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that. I know I remember when I was like looking up to try to like find stuff about this movie that I think I put in like Gekimation or something, and 2 things popped up. So I'm like, man, there's like at least one other thing that he's done or someone else has done. I don't know if it's just this one guy that does it or what, but there's like one other thing that's in Gekimation.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely different. It's definitely something that you should watch. If you're a fan of horror, give it a shot. If you're a fan of animation styles, like different animation styles, like stop motion, anything like that, anime, give it a watch. Yeah, I mean, I definitely say check it out, and we'll put a little thing in the show notes of where you can actually go and watch it. And again, thanks to Dark Coast for being super
shout out to them
and hooking us up.
Really
appreciate that.
Throw that on, rent that or whatever, stream it on Halloween. That'll be a fun watch if you're having a party.
Yeah, Halloween's in a few days. Pop this on. I think it would be very interesting for a Halloween party.
Yeah, you'd get some funny reactions too. You'd be like, people, especially as people come in partway through, they're gonna be like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, people come in that third act and just be like, "What is on the screen?" Also, don't let your kids watch it.
Yes.
Or adult supervision.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh man. So Harold, I know we're going this week. We're gonna be at Anime Weekend Atlanta. So we're going to be at AWA or Awawawa in beautiful Hotlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
We're going to be a Hotlanta. So you can see us there. We're going to be with our cool friends from Netflix's The Dragon Prince. We're going to be hanging out with them, doing some stuff.
Very cool.
Going to a couple panels. Going to be doing some press stuff. Yeah, so that'll be fun. What about you? You got anything interesting coming up?
Yeah, so when this airs, we're actually going to be dropping an episode of a series I recently just watched, Over the Garden Wall. And so it was one that a friend had told me about when I actually had him on my show for the first time. And then, of course, one of those things of like, everyone suggests the show to me, so like that one kept falling down on the list until someone else brought it up. And then I just decided, like, you know what, this is like, from what I hear, it's like a cool thing for like tie-in for like the fall season. And so I was like, let me just watch this and we'll just do an episode on it. But I was like blown away by it and didn't expect to like it as much as I did. And so, yeah, at the time of this episode being released, our episode will come out. So listen to this episode and then go check ours out.
Definitely. And like it was definitely one of those ones where I had heard about it well before I had watched it, because back when I was big into Gravity Falls, back when that show was still going on, there were a lot of like similarities between the fandoms. Like, so like they were,
I could see that, yeah,
drawing the characters in like
similar
the same
style
way. Exactly. So it was very, coming from Gravity Falls, it took me like an extra like 3 years before I watched it. And then I watched it and I was like, wow, yep, I have to watch this like every Halloween now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love the music. I love the music and like the characters, the voice actors. The voice cast is amazing.
It may be my favorite thing Elijah Wood's done.
Yeah, I would second that for sure.
Sorry, Lord of the Rings. I love him, but he was definitely... Frodo was never my favorite in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I was always a fan of that big blonde elf boy.
He's dope in it, though. I mean,
Everybody
there's like...
loves Legolas.
Who else is... I mean, Tim Curry's in it. Elijah Wood. Christopher Lloyd.
Beatrice?
Oh, I forget, but she was good, too.
She's
I couldn't remember if she
amazing,
was... I couldn't remember if she was like a big name or not, but I just remember seeing like those few, and I was like, "Geez, like this cast is bananas."
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good series. And by the way, feel free to, whenever you have anything animation, like ask me about it. I can come on things.
I need to have you. I just had you back on. I just had you back on, pal. Not that long ago.
And what's your point?
No, I did say that. I was like, oh man, like, because I think I just asked you earlier when we were talking. I was like, have you seen this? And you were like, bruh. So I was like, my bad.
Josh,
that happens
because
what
happens when you have an animation podcast? You just watch everything.
Well, I feel like that is funny too, because like, especially because like mine started out very much like with the anime through line. And I like realized early on, like, I do not watch enough anime for someone that hosts an anime podcast.
Bro, right?
And so it's just like funny. I don't know. It's like I missed out on so many things, or like just haven't seen so many things, or like a lot of people like would consider like a mortal sin that I haven't seen. And I don't know, man.
You don't watch My Hero Academia? Come
on, bro. You already know I'll watch My Hero. Don't do me like that.
Josh doesn't watch that.
You're missing out, pal.
Am I? Have they gotten to the second tournament yet?
Man.
Oh, no, yeah, I guess, I think they're on tournament 3 in the manga. So are they on the third tournament in the anime?
You a hater, my guy.
No, no, seriously, like, are they on the third tournament?
I don't think they are. I mean, the new season only just started a couple weeks ago, I think. So.
Gotcha, okay. Well,
I'm like, actually...
There's a third tournament.
I'm going to wait to watch it.
Are you going to wait to watch it all?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's going to be tough.
Nah, I have iron resolve. I've been not watching stuff for years, so... It took me 5 years to watch Over the Garden Wall, bro.
yeah, I hear you, man. Jeez. I was kind of wanting... Oh, I did hear a little bit of news, like they've... excuse me. They started voice production on Evangelion 4 now.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so like hopefully now we'll finally get the fourth one.
Man, Evangelion
In
is
English.
its own like crazy thing, dude.
Like I waited so long for 3.33 that when I got it, I don't think I've unwrapped it yet. Oh no, it has been unwrapped because I put all of my DVDs in like the little sleeves. So it's been unwrapped and put in the sleeve. But yeah, I don't think I've watched it.
Yeah, I did see. I didn't see that. The only thing that I'd seen recently about any like production or anything was like John Cho got hurt, so they're like putting Bebop on hold. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like,
7 to
what
9
happened?
months.
Yeah, I
He
was like,
must
this
have-
guy
I-
like break his pelvis or something. Jeez.
I know. I'm like, I broke my leg and it was 6 weeks. So
I mean, they've got him doing like super hardcore stunts and stuff too, though. So
Yeah.
it's like probably to get healed
wonder if
up
he,
to the point of doing that
slipped a
stuff.
disc or something.
Dude, I hope not.
I mean,
I
if
just
he's
saw
doing, if
that
he's doing like kung fu and stuff. I mean,
he might have. Yeah, it's possible.
He sounds like a pitcher who just had like Tommy John surgery. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm out for like 9 months, guys. Sorry.
I know. I was
Done
like,
with
dang.
the season. I can't pitch.
I remember seeing that, just like that news story pop up, and I was like, dang, like I can't believe that happened. It was like everyone was gassed up about it, especially because they dropped that teaser and everything. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. Let's see. I know we've got Vikas Adam coming on. That's next week's episode. Excuse me. He is a audiobooks. That's mainly what he does. He's done some live action stuff, but mainly he does audiobooks. And he does my favorite audiobook series. He's the voice of Colby Stevens in C. Robert Carlyle's series. So that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but you know Cabin in the Woods and
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. Like, he wrote those.
Oh,
Like, he's,
geez.
like, one of
Well,
the
that's
writers
awesome,
on
dude.
those. Like, yeah, he used to work for Ain't It Cool News, like, way back in the day. He was part of Spill.com. He used to do, like, really cool, like, movie reviews and everything back a long, long time ago. They were one of the first, like, animated things where it was, like, they would do, like, animated reviews. So it would be them, and, like, back on the show, he was called Carlisle instead of Cargill, which is his name. So, like, his name is Cargill, but he was Carlisle on the show. So he would do that, and, like, they were all, like, animated, and they had, like, a co-host 3000 or co-host
Oh, that's
9000, little robot thing. But yeah, they would give some stuff, like, they would rate movies and stuff like, I was like, oh, this is a matinee, or I give this one full price, or if it was like the best movie,
right.
be like, I give
Right.
it better than Sex. So, like, that was their ranking. So
That's cool, man. Well, that's neat when it's like someone that you like kept up with over their career, like kind of know them from something else, and you're able to like talk to them. That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he just reads the audiobooks, but like, when I first heard his voice, I was like, "Oh, bro, like I'm on board 100% with everything
You got me.
that you're selling." Because like I had read the first one, and the second book came out, and I was that's when I was working at the payroll company. I'm not going to say their name just in case.
I know which one you're talking about.
Company, and so I was doing a lot of data entry. So I was like, "Oh, I'll get the audiobook for this. Now I can just listen to it while I type." And I got that, and I immediately went and bought the second one. I mean, the first book on audio instead of the first book, and then into the second book again. Because I was like, man, I love this dude's voice so much that I'm just gonna go in. But yeah, he's great. I definitely recommend checking out Dreams and Shadows. And The Queen of Dark Things, both by C. Robert Cargill. First one is Dreams and Shadows. Get it on Audible. You get your first like 3 books free on Audible or whatever. Just get that one for free. Listen to it by next week. You'll thank yourself.
No, that's cool, dude.
It's great. It's got angels and monsters and demons and trolls and all kinds of stuff from
right up your alley,
folklore and history and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah. I was gonna say the only other thing that I can think of that I've seen for like news relevant to my show is, and I can't remember if you had him on your show, Chris J. Alex.
We were gonna have Chris on. Like I saw him,
and then some timing thing worked or messed up.
Like he was in Japan for
right.
a bit,
that's what it was.
I was like, oh geez, like the nothing was working timing wise. But
right.
We're supposed to have him back on. It's just we got to figure out a time when he's available.
Cool.
So you're gonna get Chris on?
Well, no, I was gonna say I'd like to have him back on because I just saw that he was it was announced that he was gonna be working on the Deathstroke cartoon with Michael Chiklis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just announced not that long ago. I was just like, oh, that's kind of tight. He's not playing Deathstroke, but I was like, he's like one of the other characters in it. But I'm just like, man, this guy keeps popping up everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so that's pretty cool. Shout out to him. We talked to him like last year sometime.
Choreo, because he was he did the mocap for Kratos, right?
Yeah, Kratos, and then he did some of the Rhino in that Spider-Man game that was on PS4.
Ah, yes, Spider-Man with Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeesh.
Shout out to my boy Yuri.
Oh yeah, and you talked to him. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, he's cool. So I mean, you've got stuff coming up on the pipe. I've got stuff coming up on the pipe. Gonna be fun. Yeah, like I said, check us out at AWA this weekend. So it's October 31st through November 3rd. So it's a 4-day convention. So
that'll be fun though.
All 4 days, we'll be there. I can't leave early because it's in Atlanta. So
that's usually your move, but you had to stick it out this time.
Yeah, this was like I can't leave early, so already booked the flight, already booked the hotel, so I was like, I can't leave early, I'm stuck. So yeah, I'll be there. You can definitely hit us up. Hit us up on the social if you're going to be there. We'll do a meetup, and you can get ASP swag. We got ASP swag to give away.
Nice.
Oh man, so Harold, where can everybody find your wonderful show?
Yeah, man. Well, you can find us on social media. That's Toons Podcast, TUNES/TOONS. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We kind of talk about a good mix of stuff. We talk about animation. We'll do deep dives on specific shows. I love to have guests on and talk to them about what music and animation had an impact on them growing up. And then just talking specifically about bands. We'll talk about albums that mean a lot to people, bands that have stuck out to people for a long time.
Like Creed.
Just like a good mix. Yeah. We got to do that Scott Stapp episode. That's coming up.
Oh, bro, I would love to do a Scott Stapp episode. I saw...
With times wide open.
I want to say the last concert that I went to was... Some New Zealand band was the opener. So it was a New Zealand band, and then after the New Zealand band was Stained.
Wow.
And then after Stained was Creed.
Wow. It's like 2 pairs of dirty underwear.
Yeah, dude, it was great. It was a fantastic concert, and I got to see it at the BOK Center, so it was definitely a concert. Because
Jesus.
You had to go all the way to Tulsa for that.
That sounds funny. You would go to that.
It was great. It was great. There was a lot of fire from Creed. Like, a lot of pyrotechnics. So, that was definitely a thing that happened.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Oh, Scott Stapp. I wonder what he's doing now. Do you think he's still living in his car?
They just did a show at Tower Theater, no lie. Or actually, it wasn't Creed. It was just Scott Stapp solo. And he just played at Tower Theater, and I was like, what?
Did you go?
Nah, I missed that one,
Bro.
Unfortunately. I should have hit you up. My bad. I didn't know you stand freaking Creed in your household.
Yeah,
so
man,
that's my B.
I'm a Stappian.
You're a Christ follower.
Basically, yes.
A Stappian.
Stappian.
You got a staph infection.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yes. I got a staph infection, and the only cure is some more Creed.
With times wide open.
Under What was the one that they played that was like WWE Survivor Series, and it was like
oh my god, they did
Series.
do a couple of the featured songs. I don't remember which one that would have been.
Jeez.
But I do remember because we did a music of wrestling episode not that long ago on my show, and someone had brought up Creed, and I was just like, wow, this is so funny.
Oh shoot! Now I gotta find out what are Creed songs.
What are Creed songs?
I
know there's My Sacrifice.
I think it may have been My Sacrifice.
Okay, I was gonna say that's the other bop that they put out.
Is either My Sacrifice or Higher. I don't think it was Higher. I think it was My Sacrifice.
Oh man!
To the place where blind men
Creed.
see.
Scott Stapp is like if Eddie Vedder went to Sunday school.
I want that on a shirt. Can someone make me a shirt that says Scott Stapp is like if Eddie Vedder went to Sunday school?
Somebody surely has said that already before. Surely that's not an original thought. That's probably been thought up already.
Oh, jeez. Okay, no more Stapp attacks. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. You can find the podcast on Instagram at Animation Station Podcast, on Twitter at Animate Podcast. All of our episodes are available iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, YouTube, and on our website, animationstationpodcast.com. Harold, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. All right, so for the Animation Station Podcast, I'm Josh.
And for Toons Podcast, I'm Harold.
Remember, there is no cure for your staph infections.
Bye-bye, little butterfly.
Bye-bye, little butterfly. So what do you think about all this, like, Marvel, like, Martin Scorsese and garbage? What's your hot take on that?
It's just people, like, I just can't fathom people, like, arguing about this stuff. It's crazy. Did you see that Martin Scorsese shirt that came out, though? It was, like, the Marvel Studios font, but it says Martin Scorsese as, like, the Marvel Studios logo. I was like, well, how did this get made? Like, people are outrageous with this. But it's just devolving, man. Like, people are just getting so pissed about it. And it's like, come on. Can we just, like, enjoy things, please?
Like, bro can watch whatever he wants to watch. I mean, let him say whatever he wants to say. Oh, what's great is, like, I've seen, like, Marvel fans, like, on my Twitter and my Facebook and everything, who, like, shat on any DC movie that ever comes out. They're like, oh, this is trash and blah, 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 blah. But the moment Martin Scorsese comes on and is like, I don't think it's really cinema, or whoever it was, Francis Ford Coppola, whatever, it was like, I don't think this is cinema. They're like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. He can't have
How
an
dare
opinion.
you?
And I'm like, you called, like, Batman vs Superman really bad, and it's not. Is it good? Is it really good? No. Is it really bad? No.
And it's just like, I don't know, these huge blockbusters are what make, like, a huge portion of the money for, like, the film industry. So it's just funny to see, like, I don't know, we're not going to give this awards, and we're not going to treat this like real cinema, but it's bringing in, like, 99% of the money of the film industry.
Yeah. And Bob
so
Iger,
just like,
that's basically what Bob Iger said in his little interview earlier this week. He was like, we make blockbusters because, like, that's what keeps, like, movie theaters alive. And I'm like, yeah, that's very, very true.
Valid.
Like, without, you know, Marvel popcorn movies where you can just turn your mind off and, you know, just do whatever, like, you don't get good movies. Like, that's what happened. You wouldn't get the Joker if there were no... I don't know why I just went to the Joker, but, you know, who knows. You wouldn't get the Joker. You wouldn't get Kingsman. You wouldn't get these really cool movies if you didn't have to suffer through Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
Sorry for everybody that likes Thor Ragnarok. They probably all stopped listening by now, but I don't care.
The guy that wrote that or directed that or whatever is doing, like, the first couple episodes of Bebop for the live action.
Taika Waititi?
Yeah. He's like a writer or producer on, like, the first 1 or 2 episodes of the Bebop live action, I think I remember reading. So
I'm cool with that.
I ain't mad at it.
No. Did you get your tickets to Star Wars?
Yeah, Caleb bought our tickets.
Oh yeah,
Caleb bought like all our tickets.
Like 13 of them or 14 of the Taken Kings.
He did. He hit me with that Cash App request quick too. I'm like, dang, this buddy put it on his credit card. I feel you.
Like I went and I was like, I gotta get some for me and Gavin. And I was like, oh man, so like it took me forever to get anything on AMC. And then I just pulled up my Regal app because I have that Regal thing where like you pay like a yearly subscription and you get to see, however many movies that you want. So I was like, okay, I'll see if I get like first showing on Friday at like 10 a.m. I was like, it's me and like 2 other people in that theater. And I was like, I'll see Star Wars twice. So
that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, like I guess like it like threw me.
When it gets
I was just like,
when it gets closer, it'll get fill up. I bet.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll blast off real quick.
Yeah,
because I couldn't get anything like though the tickets that I was able to get, like I couldn't get any of the Dolby digital ones. Those were all full, so I had to get like regular like basic commoner seats. So
what a plebe!
I know it made me so sad.
We I don't remember. I think he got us in like one of the better theaters because like it was me and Madison are going. He had asked if me and Madison wanted to go.
Quail, bro. I don't think you're.
But
in
it was like
theater.
They have
no offense.
They have a Dolby theater there. I went and watched the Matrix re-release at the Dolby theater there.
I haven't been. I went to Penn all the time.
So slap yourself.
Dude, I was a Penn boy. I loved Penn because it's a smaller theater.
But those seats though,
their seats are 1,000 times better than Quail. That's why I'm like, hell yeah, I want to recline.
Now that Dolby theater though was tight. Yeah, like I was saying, we did that. Me and a buddy went and watched that Matrix re-release on that, and it was just like the sound was just like booming in that. But I'm not sure if that's where Caleb got our tickets in that specific theater or not. But I wouldn't be mad if he did.
Yeah.